So, got this whole mess. Got me by myself here. We learned yesterday that when I flip the camera, it cuts maybe a couple words out, so I gotta pause my speech when I do that. But hopefully I paused it at the right time. Something crazy I'm thinking here is, could I use some of these tumbled down wall pieces to create a set of walls for a composting toilet that I'd later put a roof on? And the reason I'd put a roof on is because uphill visibility makes the roof critical. You know? So, convenience-wise, the best place would be right here, both for moving the rocks and for installing it. I could weave things through the fence and have an overlook. It doesn't need to be fully enclosed. And I could mount the roof to the back end of this shed, in theory, anyway. In theory. Or I could just put a panel across the top, propped there, and it would be sheltered from the extreme winds we sometimes get, because cliff sides do be like that. It's also more convenient to access, and I'd only have to probably build the one wall, but I still would have to build a door on the other side. Now, I have a lot of so-called plywood. So I call it so-called plywood because it's panels off of crates from work. The loading dock has stocked me up on some of the sturdiest plywood you've ever met. I would just need to probably paint it for outdoor use, because the pieces that I've used in the bird surround stay pretty well, but I did end up painting those. Yeah. So that's like an option, I guess. As long as it's not gonna end up making my shed rot. I do want to have some space. So that's the reason I was thinking maybe over here wouldn't be that bad a plan either. This is always the way I walk into the back here. This is also where I always put all of my cardboard. So I'd have to make this more accessible for cardboard waste. I have put down a lot of cardboard here in the past, so the weeds are not immediately going to jump through. Call me crazy, but given how much this soil has settled, it's almost 2 full runs of the wall over the years, since probably 23 years ago. This was put in by the prior owner. He only owned the place for 2 years. I've been here dank near 20 at this point, so maybe it's 21, 22 years. So, this is probably not needing to be as tall. So I have spare of at least 2 full distance lines of Omnistone, or whatever the heck you want to call this, available to me for this project. So I'm thinking I might just borrow some, probably out the middle, because I love the moss effect, and I'd love to keep the moss as the top row. Yeah, so that's something I could start on solo. However, if I build it right away, then I've built myself out of being able to come at this from this angle. So, decisions. I would love to hear your thoughts on these thought processes. Even if I end up pulling a impulse control problem and simply do not end up waiting for you to tell me, I'm interested after the fact, because moving them a little distance is still at least starting. At least I've started. I'm also interested in using a few to build like little benches that are less prone to rust, you know? Even if I can't lean back in them like I can in that one. That one I had to cut the arbor off because it was rusting down and detaching. And now it does have slightly like sharp top points on the armrests, and that's maybe not the safest thing ever. So, thoughts. Pennies for your thoughts, or whichever numeration you would prefer. Thanks so much for visiting the cliffside. This is problem solving in permaculture. Take care. Bye.